Hello everyone, Gary Waterman here, a former police officer and recent Christian. I think you'll see that this is now becoming quite a clear spiritual war. I'm sorry if those of you don't believe that. I think you need to start getting into the realm of that is what is happening here. And this document is no better to show you that. But importantly, this child still needs our help. Okay, I'm in touch with the family every day. Please call this number. Okay, we need to get this child protected. The police are not doing anything. I still have not been contacted. Please do your part. That is the priority, that child. Not only for the child, but the links that child has to all of the other evidence we're talking about here. Secondly, please report yourself as a victim. Let's put pressure on the authorities. You've been a victim. Okay, you need to phone up. I don't know if you can see it. There's my former action fraud reference. You can quote that if you need to, but you should get your own reference. You've been a victim. I would suggest you name members of parliament as suspects. These guys are overseeing this system of fraud. They are therefore conspiring to commit the fraud. They're not stopping it, are they? That's conspiring to allow it to go on. They're not responding to emails. They're not phoning and saying, yes, we've got to do something about this. They're not highlighting it. They're complicit, they're conspiring, you're being victimised. Stop it now, help me stop it. Report yourself as a victim, all of you. You're all victims. Okay, let's go to the next bit of the document. I'm now doing research on the second officer mentioned on the report who was investigating the child abuse and apparent potential murders of many children on the Jersey. Okay, so we're now looking at research in relation to that officer. I'm not saying this officer is involved in murder at all or fraud. I'm just showing you public information documents. Okay, so researching. So this is Companies House Research, putting the name in, and it's brought up this person here. Now, the trouble is with Companies House is obviously they haven't been verifying details. So I've identified several what appear to be false names having been given through links that have then been made to people in positions of authority. Okay, but let's look at this person anyway. So it links through. It may be that this isn't that officer, but the name's similar. And you'll see, even if not, then they link through this system of fraud. And straight away, it links to FRP Advisory Trading. Okay, and this company, A&G Walkup, is in liquidation, even though it was trading since 2010. Remember, since I reported the fraud. And FRP Advisory links to previous research surrounding the World Trade Center. A second check now reveals this company, okay, J Walkup Construction. And again, you can see that there's, is it FRP? No, sorry, on the incorporation document here we're now going to look at, you can see Companies Made Simple. Okay, now Companies Made Simple, you'll see from all the other videos, they feature a lot. They link through to a shareholder within my company very quickly, and also to a company called Westco. Okay, and Westco links to Peter Lawson, the officer who was in charge of the investigation for Nicola Bulley. Okay, he was the assistant chief constable and he was found dead at age 50 in his home address. Importantly, it also links through to Larry Silverstein, who purchased the World Trade Center, the lease for the World Trade Center in July 2001, and then the disaster happened in September 2001. And it links also to Harriet Harman's company, the National Council for Civil Liberties. Remember, we've mentioned that. Look at my other videos. But importantly, that company document that links all of those things has been forged. Okay, this is absolutely crucial evidence. There's not even a company name in it. Remember, I got this from the Companies House Register, and there's not even a company name in it. And Companies House would have seen this document with no name on it, and still they have filed it supposedly onto the account. This is appears to be a huge cover-up, and it's linked to Waterlow's, and Waterlow's links to other shareholders within my company. Now, leading on from that, you then have this company, Walkup Law Firm Limited, Lloyds Bank Chambers. Remember, I obtained fraudulent Lloyds Bank documents. I've shown you those in the videos, and now we've got a Lloyds Bank name mentioned. Linking through from that company, you have this person that links to a property company. Remember, real estate links heavily. And again, it's the same Lloyds Bank. Now we're looking at Frank Walker. He was mentioned on the report at the beginning. If you go look at it, the previous research, he was on there. I think he was basically saying that they shouldn't have investigated it in a certain way or something. Go and look at it again anyway, just research the thing. But anyway, importantly, he's linked to the island paedophile potential network and child murders potentially. So we can see what he was here. So he was the Chief Minister of Jersey, serving from 2005 to 2008. He was also linked to a company called Guiton and Co. Or Guiton, don't know how you pronounce that. Sounds French, doesn't it? Limited. Okay, so he was linked to that company. So let's look at that company. Now, when you search it, it comes up with Temple Chambers. Okay, Temple Avenue. Remember, this is featured on many of the companies linked to the fraud you'll see from the other research. And they're obviously in Jersey, incorporating Jersey. Now, as we know, Jersey is a tax haven. Okay, it's classed as an offshore tax haven account. Okay, it's an article here now, just talking about the Jersey Evening Post, because it mentions somewhere up there that, where was it? There you go, the Guernsey Evening Press. So checking up on that press company leads that gentleman has connections to, Mr. Walker, forgot the name then. It brings up this research. Okay, so we're talking about a newspaper that's been around for a long time. You can see more research here on the right. So the Evening Post was founded in 1890 by H.P. Butterworth, with the very first issue being published in 1890. It was acquired only a few weeks after its launch by Walter Gouton. The Post was produced sheet by sheet on a flatbed press until 1926, when Gouton oversaw the introduction of operation the first rotary press. Okay, just reading down there more. In 1944, he was succeeded. The latter stayed in both positions until he succeeded in 1944. Okay, so 1944, very close to the war, isn't it? By his son, Arthur G. Harrison, under the Harrisons. The newspaper, while undergoing little technical change, saw testing times as the island came under supposed German occupation, supposedly. And here you go, you can see Evening Post. Now I'm researching Jersey Evening Post, and it brings up this. Okay, and you can see they were incorporated, links back in with that article 1926, that they were incorporated. And when you look at the incorporation document, remember, it would either be this or a name, previous name that's on there. And lo and behold, it's a forged entity company. So the register has been forged in relation to it. Absolute gold dust this is. So now we're looking into that company. So that's fraud, by the way. Now this is where things get even more, depending on how you look at it, it appears to be very sinister to me, all of this. You can see this person here then links to Heathrow Import Clearance Services. Okay, so that suggests from that title that they allow people clearance, or children or items clearance through Heathrow. Remember, every company that's linked to this fraud, it has been infiltrated, okay, and could be involved in nefarious and criminal activities. And here we are, we've got a clearance company at Heathrow. And look where they're registered, in Hampshire. Okay, now remember, a lot of the other addresses link through to Hampshire. One of my shareholders has multiple links in Hampshire. In fact, that individual, which we'll see later, links through to Fleming and Co., which links through to J.P. Morgan. Fleming and Co. links to Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming wrote the James Bond novels, and Ian Fleming was a CIA operative. If what the research you look into, if you believe it. But this evidence is irrefutable. All of this stuff is absolute irrefutable evidence because it's from the public register and everyone can corroborate it. But interestingly, on that company, okay, so Heathrow Import Clearance, we have this. Now, you'll know from my other documents and research, Nigel Leonard Blood, possibly a false name, links to the High Elm Child Movement again, which was started up in 1929, I believe. So youth accommodation and help for young people. Okay, and it's also linked to the London Law Agency that we know is a falsely registered company. So again, the registration certificate does not match the register or the incorporation certificate. So you can see that how absolutely incredible evidence this is, that's all been held under our noses actually. And it links through to MSI Worldwide Limited. Okay, now MSI Worldwide Limited, and you can see that's going into liquidation, but MSI Worldwide Limited links through to Nicola Bulley's father, okay, who's involved and linked to Freight Company Services. Okay, so you can see this evidence is absolutely crucial. Again, I'll keep saying it because YouTube, you can't take this down, all right? I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm purely presenting evidential links within documents, okay? And you can see it's in liquidation. It was starting in 2009. So we're now looking at the incorporation document for it. As you can see, first class company services are on the incorporation document. First class company services link to Jeffrey Epstein. Finchley Road as well, addresses, and also a company called South Coast, but interestingly and most importantly, Epstein. Now my Epstein document is circulating the world. You'll see if you look on the Epstein document, it will research document, you'll see these companies, so you'll see first class company services. Also, it links to Giuliani. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Giuliani was the mayor of New York at the time the World Trade Center collapsed. So first class company services now links to companies associated. And again, remember, this is very quickly. Okay, look at my research in relation to the World Trade Center and you will see the company associations to them. And again, links to Max Clifford and Finchley. So now on the previous research, you'll see when you look back that Jack Straw was mentioned. Okay, now Jack Straw, he was in the cabinet from 1997 to 2010 under the Labour government of Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. You'll see Gordon Brown in a moment, research in relation to Gordon Brown in a minute. He held two of the traditional great offices of state as Home Secretary, but also Foreign Secretary from 2001, World Trade Center at the time, to 2006 under Tony Blair. And this is just some other research you might want to do. It's just, again, I'm not saying he's involved in anything. Got to keep saying that because, you know, are they linked to a system of fraud and very sinister, nefarious situations? Certainly appears to be. So we're now looking at not personal details, but details research on Wikipedia in relation to Jack Straw. And you can see that he is linked to airports. Okay, if you believe what Wikipedia says. Okay, so I didn't write this, but here you go. You've got links to airports. So I just need to put my phone on charge. It's gone dead again. Sorry about that. Just put my phone on charge. So yeah, link to airports. But interestingly, look at this. Now remember, you'll see on the other videos that there's already a company linked very closely to Fleming and Co. and my shareholders links, and you'll see that again later. But interestingly, Perkins, so Jack Straw's wife, I believe, was chair of the Post Office during the critical period of the British Post Office scandal. Chairing a Post Office subcommittee condemned Project Sparrow, which had been accused of sacking forensic accountants. Remember, we've got the forensic stuff. No, it's accountants, right? Separate forensics, who had been found bugs in the Horizon IT system and seeking to exclude victims from compensation. And again, look who else is mentioned here. Straw supports his local football team, Blackburn Rovers, and made an honorary vice president of the club in 1988 by Jack Walker. Remember, we've already mentioned Jack. He was mentioned on the article as well in relation to the island's child abuse and murder. So when I'm looking at Jack Straw's companies, and we've already mentioned Blackburn on there, and this is now linked to a company called Blackburn, and you can see on the right there, Graham and Brown Design. And then when you link in through, you can see from this person within that company goes to Graham and Brown Limited. Let's look at Graham and Brown Limited, still an active company based in Lancashire. Lancashire. Lickle-a-bully. But importantly, on that incorporation document, it has a different name altogether. So again, we have a false company Jack Straw is linked to, but also HT Woodrow is on there as well. And you can see it's a full, again, let me just show you. So again, you need to see proof of this. This is what it should be. There's no other names listed, and you can check this yourself. So that means that name at the top should be on the incorporation document, but you can see it's not. It's completely different. That's fraud. Hopefully this is all sinking in now. And here you go. Here's another part of the incorporation document. You can see there it is there at the bottom. Okay, it's a completely different name. So moving on, research now in relation to HT Woodrow. As soon as I search that, it brings up the previous research in relation to Vistra. Now remember, Vistra features heavily, but also to Reach PLC, which has major control over most media companies and newspapers. They also link through to HT Woodrow on their incorporation documents. Now we're looking, now this is very important. So by chance, in relation to the research, I stumbled across the head, okay, of the family court. And this gentleman is called Andrew McFarlane. Okay, so this is just an article talking about him. Quite a recent one, actually. Well, say that, 2022. So let's look at this gentleman. Okay, so this is research in relation to him. It's called To the Bar of Gray's Inn. Remember Gray's Inn, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of the research, the addresses are Gray's Inn on these companies linked to the fraud. In 2003, he was a bencher. Okay, not long after World Trade Center. He began his pupillage in London at Chancery Chambers before moving to 2 Fountain Court. Appointed assistant recorder. So he was appointed as the president of the family division. So overlooking child protection concerns. 2018. He was also part of the church, as church is linked all the way through this as well. Of course, it won't be everyone with every organisation that knows anything about this, but there'll be certainly one person within each organisation linked to this that will know about this. That's almost a given, isn't it? So let's look at him. So this is Andrew McFarlane again. Not saying he's involved in anything. Young's Minds Trust. This is a company there. We're just showing the registration. And the bottom, obviously unsurprising, there's a consultant child physiotherapist, is it? Psychotherapist, I think. On there, it's not surprising. And then links through to a management company. Now there are many management companies linked all the way through. I would be forever doing documents, and as I've explained, that's because real estate is a way of defrauding and individuals that are innocent within those buildings, if it's a big block of flats, for example, but also it's a way to launder money through the accounts with those companies. And you've got RTM Secretarial Limited on there. You can see it's also got, more importantly, the London Law Agency Limited again. Remember, Max Clifford's false entity company, linked to Max Clifford, linked to the High Elm Project, High Elm Movement, young children, or children. And then we've got RTM Secretarial. And again, London Law Agency. Okay, so it's just links back again. So now we're looking into the real estate company at the top here, 59. Oh, sorry. So we're now looking into that. It links to Forest Row Community Preschool. Okay, so there's a school. Now we're going back to Young Minds, okay, and looking at this person. So we're jumping back and forward a little bit, and you can follow by the tabs a little bit, link through to these companies. This company here. Again, this address features frequently. They'll be using, sharing the same addresses a lot of the time, or parts of addresses. And here you can see that Duport Director Limited is linked to it. Research of that had already cropped up. It links to Brighton company directors and secretaries, loads of Brighton companies that are all linked. But then it also links through to, when you search Brighton, Connor Burns, the MP for Dorset. One of the Dorsets there, okay. And it also links through to Nicola Bulley, okay. So there's links through to the research surrounding the companies around Nicola Bulley as well. We're back into Young Minds, looking through from one person here, and it goes into the National Youth Agency. So we're now looking from the National Youth Agency, and it goes to this person, or this company rather. And then when we research that person, it shows, it says here, so Josiah Mason, born in 1795, yes, and died in 1881, was an English industrialist engaged in pen manufacture and other trades, and philanthropist. He founded the Mason Science College in 1876, is that? Which later became the University of Birmingham. When you look at the University of Birmingham, it says this. Mason Science College was a university college in Birmingham, England, and a predecessor college of Birmingham University, founded in 1875 by industrialist and philanthropist Sir Josiah Mason. The college was incorporated into the University of Birmingham in 1990. Two students of the college, Neville Chamberlain and Stanley Baldwin, later went on to become Prime Ministers of the UK. Now, within the incorporation document for that company, okay, so Sir Josiah Mason Trust, it says, oh, where are we? It's linked to a company called Brabner's LLP. Brabner's LLP. So when you search Brabner's LLP, okay, it comes up with, fun enough, Brabner's LLP, an address in Liverpool. And then when you go into that company, it links through to the Manchester Jewish Community Care. Sorry, I'm just having a little read of this as we go through. 22 minutes, we'll stop it in a minute. Manchester Jewish Community Care, and you can see OYES. But interestingly, you can see this has been stamped over the document that was there. Okay, so that's been put on, but there's nothing wrong. That's not necessarily to say there's anything untoward with that particular part. But there are at the bottom here companies. The Charity Service Limited. Now, Freemasons are notorious for getting into charitable work. I've established that many of the charities are false entity companies, unfortunately, and fraudulent documents linked to them. But you can see here the Children's Hospitals Appeal Trust is limited, is linked to it, and the British Israel Chamber of Commerce Limited, linked to the company. And then if we move through, you can see that 11 Degrees Limited. Now, within Freemasonry, there's certain degrees. You probably know about that. And Blood Brothers Limited Company. Again, this address frequently pops up. And it linked. Now, this is important. And you can see here, it then links to a blockchain company. Now, blockchain, I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's like a digital form of digital currency. So now blockchain, this shows blockchain has been infiltrated by this fraud, and we cannot go to digital currency. They're going to be tearing their hair out of this, all the MPs now. My goodness, what has this man done? But here's Metallicus. So we've now just researched Metallicus. And it basically says that it's we are building the world's most customer-centric digital asset banking network using blockchain technology. So you know the implications of this. So then it links through. We're going back to Young Minds. Okay, links through to the Association for Young People's Health, Children's Centre Project, Young People's in Focus. Just trying to show that there's loads of young people companies. We'll link quickly through. And the incorporation document for this one has Jordan's. As you know, Jordan's is heavily linked to the fraud. Now we're looking into this company, Brandon Centre for Counselling and Physio-Psychotherapy for Young People. Well, that's good, isn't it? So we've got a connection through to paedophilic goings on an island, according to that. And now we've got a connection to this system being used to direct what's good for child psychology. And on the incorporation document for that company, you've got city road address, which comes up frequently. But you've also got, so I was just checking out, you've also got, this is a false registered company because you can see it's got the at the front. Okay, but it's been registered with the at the back in brackets. So that is a falsely registered company. It may seem petty, but that makes all the difference because this is a legal document, which means that company is now unlawful and able to basically do pretty much anything it wants and avoid any accountability because it's not even lawful. Unbelievable, isn't it, this? Young Minds going back in. The Association for Family Therapy links to it. This is the association, so we're now talking about family therapy, helping families. There's no incorporation document on it, okay? So they've removed the incorporation document. However, there was another document attached, and this supposedly is the company. Well, that's completely different. The Constitution of the Family for Therapy, company number. It's the same company number, okay? You can see. The Association for Family Therapy, same company number. The Constitution of the Association for Family Therapy. Fraud. Fraud. Absolute fraud. There's no way out of this for them. And then linked through that company, you can see another film company, media company, productions. This is game over. They need to step down. Prime Minister, step down. All your advisors, step down. Everyone in tops of Parliament just need to step down now. And I think they know the game's up now. They've, oh my goodness, I don't know what to say about it. You can see that Formations Direct Limited is on the incorporation document. If you research that, it goes back to Tobias Ellwood. Is linked through to it. So Tobias Ellwood is my local MP. No wonder he's not replying to me. Okay, that's without the research I've done in relation to Mr. Ellwood. I'm not saying you're involved in anything, Tobias Ellwood, but you are linked through to all of this. You can also see the links through to I believe they are a real estate company in the Bournemouth area as well. So we're now in Young Minds again. A company called Freedom from Torture. No comment. And that company, their incorporation document has somebody that, if you look at my other videos and documents, you'll see this gentleman pops up all the time on there, and he hasn't been registered with most of the company where I've looked. In fact, every time I've tried to see him if he's registered, he has not been registered, which means, again, a false company because it's a legal document. Then it goes through to Doctors of the World. Doctors of the World links through to Bates, Wells and Braithwaite. We've already mentioned that. Links through to the Madeleine McCann company. But it also links through to the Death Penalty Limited, which Keir Starmer was part of. And you can see here, BWB, which is Bates, Wells, Braithwaite company, links through to Madeleine McCann. Okay, and also the London Law Agency. I hope this is making sense to everyone. This is so serious. Hopefully you'll realise how serious and irrefutable this is. And it's serious, but it's also incredibly enlightening because we know the government need to be gone and we know we need more people in. I mean, that's a fact now with this. The Wessex Clinic Limited links through from this person, one of the previous people. Oh no, it's this person. Sorry, this person links through Wessex. Remember, research shows that a shareholder of my company was involved in setting up Wessex companies, and we're now looking at that now, one of them. So this is one of those companies, address in Hampshire, as you can see. This is the one we were just looking at. Sorry, that links through, and then this is the one that's linked to a shareholder within my company. And you can see again that is also in the Hampshire area as well. I'll stop it in a minute. And they link through to a company called Manor House Bournemouth, right to manage. Okay, so we're now looking from the shareholder, now from that area, researching that. Lowther Gardens, you'll hopefully recall, links through to management companies surrounding my company in Bournemouth. And the incorporation documents here. And it links through to Burns, this eventually links through to David Sidwick, the Police and Crime Commission Officer for Dorset. And this lady links through to him via Bournemouth School. House and Son, they're based right near my block of flats. Anyway, let's go to video number 4. God bless.